Pre-Advent greetings to you all from Rocco Kenner, still Jesuit priest, and here I am to talk about Newton's third law of motion. Here it is. Whenever one object exerts a force on another object, the second object exerts an equal and opposite reaction on the first. So, a first object exerts a force on another object. The second force exerts an equal and opposite force on the first. Now that can seem a little counterintuitive, but here's the deal. And I don't know the math on this, and I don't know the physics on this, how to portray that. If a car runs into a stone bridge, the car will get crunched up because the stone bridge exerts an opposite but equal force on the first object, the car. This is true, I believe, in the spiritual life. And here's what I read once about from Emma Jung. I believe it's Carl Jung's wife, who did a study on the Arthurian legends, a psychological study of them all. And I remember her talking about Galahad, who made a vow of chastity. And this is what struck me many years ago, 30, 40 years ago, that Galahad's vow would elicit from within himself an opposite reaction. Now, that can happen in one of two ways, as best I can see in the spiritual life. One is a standoff, that both forces are strong and equal and nothing happens. The other part is that the force of his vow of chastity, much like our promises that we make in Lent to fast, to give alms, to pray more, creates its own resistance that regularly defeats pretty much all of us, doesn't it? It defeats all of us because that resistance not only is opposite and equal, but there's something about us that the force of our good intentions wanes, it weakens. And so the force of the resistance back seems to defeat us in almsgiving, prayer, and the other one. I hadn't thought of this today as part of the context of Advent, but this is it right here. This will be part of our Advent. This is going to be part of the rest of November. It's going to be probably part of the rest of December. But the voting going on right now, as the sun goes down at 4:42 p.m., just west of Chicago, northwest of Chicago. That manifests, the divisions in the country manifest this thing. That whenever one object exerts a force on another object, the second object exerts an equal and opposite force on the first. Now, this is a little bit of the chicken and the egg. What I'm writing about these days are the divisions in the church and country, because they affect the way we pray liturgically, our capacity for being engaged in the liturgy. Chicken or the egg? So was it the rigidity of the 50s, the stasis that appeared for most of us white people, that was upset, among other things, by Dr. Martin Luther King's marches in the South. Was it a society that was poor, basically, and people were stuck in ghettos pretty much unless you were white Anglo-Saxon Protestant? Most of the Irish I know, and many were stuck in these Irish Catholic ghettos, Polish, Italian, whatever. Was it the constraint some people felt from that, from the rigidity of a system in the 50s that led to, for example, the sexual revolution? Was it the movies, too, that influenced some of that? You know, what's his name? Rebel Without a Cause. Was it the back and forth between the Vietnam protests for and again? You're like this and this. Was it the cultural pushback over the music of rock and roll? Not only Buddy Holly and the Crickets, but also what grew up after that, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, the Who, my band, and so many other great dance bands. That the pushback has gone back and forth. In one sense, it doesn't matter who pushed first. But the reaction between an object exerting, meaning a societal object, exerting a force on another societal object. You see this among Catholics. We see it among people in the United States. And we're going to find out today what it looks like over the next few weeks, maybe months. What's important about this as we come up to Advent is to pay attention to the forces of attraction and aversion, of moving toward and pushing back on, and the force each one creates, an opposite and equal reaction. That will be part of the way we look to make our map, individual map, many maps, of our interior lives, and to find out what we discover so that we can find out our relationship to Bethlehem. Am I really attracted to Bethlehem? Am I really pushing back on going there? So there's a couple of thoughts for you for this Advent season that's coming up. I wish you a blessed day and weeks of attentiveness as we go through not only the pre-Xmas, the Xmas shopping season, the hanging up many colored lights season, the busy season, but also the drama of this coming post-election season. May God bless us with the kind of attention that will help us learn who we are in relationship to the Christ whose birth we celebrate at Christmas, which is December 25th. Blessed days to you. Bye now.